What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So one of the most overlooked aspects of the scene where Vegeta and Goku are fighting each other in Dragon Ball Super Hero is Vegeta's growth as a martial artist, and that is the topic of today's video. Now, what exactly do I mean about that specific scene being the source of Vegeta's growth as a martial artist? Well, if you are a fan of the original Dragon Ball, especially the ending, you will see a huge parallel between Vegeta's behavior against Goku and Goku's behavior in the World Martial Arts Tournament whenever he goes to face Piccolo. And that is because at this point in the story, Vegeta has successfully developed the pride of a martial artist. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, Goku actually announces in the Tenkaichi Budokai at the end of Dragon Ball that he has the pride of a martial artist. But what exactly does that mean? Well, that means that he practices the principles of martial arts in order to get stronger. That's what that means. And when Vegeta and Goku first met, Vegeta was baffled by the idea that this could be done, by the idea that someone could, without a genetic advantage, use martial arts to get stronger and surpass people who, like him, were born with a genetic advantage. Now, when Vegeta and Goku first faced each other, they both considered their first fight a loss because Goku, with the pride of a martial artist, in his opinion, had lost as a martial artist, whereas Vegeta, who had only been raised to look at combat as a survival of the fittest, Darwinistic, life or death scenario tool for survival, he had never looked at combat in the sense of sports. He had never looked at combat as a sport in the way that Goku has. So their first fight, in both aspects, both fighters considered it a loss due to the fact that they had different standards for what is a win and what is a victory. At this point in the story, Vegeta only considers the destruction of his opponent, the complete obliteration of his opponent, as a victory. That is because Vegeta has what he considers Saiyan Pride at that time. And the original idea of Saiyan Pride is all about having this survival of the fittest mentality, but at the expense of a martial arts-like mentality, to the point that if your life is on the line, you'll turn tail and run. And that's the reason that Nappa, Raditz, and Vegeta all show this behavior, because they actually prioritize survival in the sense that it's actually counterproductive to this attitude that Saiyans are supposed to have, where they just get stronger and stronger and stronger. Now, when Goku becomes a Super Saiyan the first time on Namek, there are two aspects to his personality that are very, very important. And Bardock in Dragon Ball Super is used as an example of these two aspects of Goku and Vegeta's personality finding common ground, and that is because Goku and Vegeta were both necessary ingredients in order to create the legendary Super Saiyan that was Goku. Essentially, the idea is that Goku prioritized getting stronger to the point that it was becoming counterproductive. That's part of the reason that he had so much mercy on Frieza, is because he wanted to get stronger. His need to get stronger is so powerful that he will have mercy on opponents that most people normally would not. And this is a detriment to Goku at some points. And it's the exact opposite of what I spoke of before, where Vegeta, Raditz, Nappa, and everyone retreat due to their misunderstanding of what Saiyan Pride is. This is the exact opposite of that. Rather than retreating, he faces death head on to the point that it becomes a detriment sometimes. And so Goku, as a legendary Super Saiyan, had to find a balance between this survival of the fittest attitude and this martial arts mentality, and that is what the Super Saiyan and what Bardock is ideally and metaphorically in Dragon Ball. He is a perfect balance between the ideas of martial arts and the idea of survival of the fittest, which means Goku and Vegeta both at this point in the story have embraced the ideas that are important when it comes to martial arts that each character represents. And that is the idea that martial arts is not just used to get stronger, it's used to survive in a life or death scenario, but Goku has had to learn not to take that attitude too far as the story has progressed. He's sort of had to learn the merit of Vegeta's ways, and Vegeta vice versa, and the happy medium between those two ideas is essentially the correct way of doing things in Dragon Ball. That's essentially the entire narrative purpose of the Super Saiyan, that Goku found a balance between his ideas as an earthling martial artist, his ideas as a Saiyan, and that is what made him the legendary Super Saiyan. And that is where Vegeta is right now in Dragon Ball Super. He's found a balance between the idea of getting stronger in order to win and survive in life or death scenarios, while also embracing this martial arts mentality that Goku has due to the fact that he was raised as an earthling. Which is why Vegeta was satisfied with his victory against Goku at the end of Dragon Ball Super Hero, because now his standard for victory, his standard for winning and for losing, has changed. He's developed this sportsman-like mentality that he did not have before as a martial artist due to the fact that he's been hanging around with Goku so much. And essentially, after the Granola arc, Goku's effect on Vegeta has come full circle. He's more a martial artist now than he ever has been. And the similarity between Vegeta's behavior at the end of Dragon Ball Super Hero and Goku's behavior at the end of Dragon Ball is put there to essentially contrast the way that Vegeta originally behaved whenever he met Goku all the way back during the Saiyan saga in Dragon Ball Z. At the end of the Buu saga in Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta admits himself that he still kills to puff up his pride, to enjoy killing his opponents, essentially announcing to the world what exactly his issue was at the time and why he wasn't like Goku and why Goku was number one. And that is something that Vegeta has slowly been trying to remedy as the series has progressed. His motivations have changed from essentially embracing this destructive survival of the fittest mentality where he enjoys the thrill of killing his opponents. He allows that to cause his blood to flow as a Saiyan. Rather than using that to get his thrill, it's just the idea of getting stronger and using martial arts. So essentially, Goku's version of what Raditz tried to instill in him, where, Raditz basically told Goku at the beginning of the series, don't you want to, kill, because that will get your blood pumping and it'll get you excited. It's something that the Saiyans crave. And Goku's version of that is essentially a tamer version of that, where he uses his sportsman-like mentality to alleviate and replace this feeling due to the fact that he was raised as a earthling and as a martial artist. It is a more tame and less deadly, more pure desire on Goku's part. And the defining difference between Vegeta when he first met Goku and Vegeta at the end of Dragon Ball Super Hero, that thrill that Goku has chased as a martial artist, that he essentially uses to replace the thrill that Raditz spoke of when he first met Goku in the Saiyan saga, the purified version of the Saiyan's need for battle. That is what Vegeta has achieved now at the end of Dragon Ball Super Hero. Rather than fighting to enjoy killing his opponents and to puff up his pride, he has gone from having the personal pride of a Saiyan warrior to the pride of a martial artist that Goku showed us at the end of the original Dragon Ball during that epic original ending between Goku and Piccolo at the end of the original Dragon Ball. So Vegeta is now right there with Goku in terms of being a representation of martial arts to the absolute max. He's even using martial arts to get stronger rather than relying on powering up itself and just evolving. After his first fight with Goku, he started taking advantage of the accelerated evolution that comes with subjecting yourself to life or death scenarios, essentially survival of the fittest. Only the strongest survive due to the fact that they have to deal with some sort of danger, some sort of struggle that programs their DNA in order to overcome it. That's essentially what Vegeta was taking advantage of whenever he was first introduced in Dragon Ball Z, but he was doing it for the purposes of, again, feeding his ego, essentially trying to be the top of the food chain in a survival of the fittest system. That was his original goal. Now he just wants to get stronger. He just wants to enjoy combat from a sports-like perspective, and his idea of combat and who he is as a character has completely changed. He has essentially finally become a full-on martial artist. Most importantly, as Goku has shown him countless times, Goku has always only killed his opponents when it was absolutely necessary, as a martial artist would, in order to survive a life or death scenario. And Vegeta openly decided to try and kill Buu at the end of the original Dragon Ball Z because he was still taking the survival of the fittest attitude too seriously, which is why the contrast between Buu and Granola is so important. Vegeta is extending his aspect of the original pride that Goku's shown as a Super Saiyan to everybody in the universe, and Goku is also extending his pride as a martial artist to everyone in the universe. It's like I've said in previous videos, essentially the idea is that Goku and Vegeta are two ingredients to create the ideal martial artist, the ideal mortal, the Super Saiyan, to maintain that balance themselves as martial artists. And Goku has been very, very successful in keeping this balance and benefiting from it in a way that Vegeta has not. But now that's all going to change because Vegeta has essentially, again, fully transitioned into having the pride of a martial artist rather than the false sense of Saiyan pride he did when he was first introduced in the original Dragon Ball Z series. So Vegeta has completely evolved and become a martial artist comparable to Goku in the original Dragon Ball, and Goku and Vegeta are now ready to essentially pass on the correct form of pride that Goku showed on Namek as the Super Saiyan to the entire universe, but most importantly, to Broly. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.